say a lot of things, but then behind closed doors, it's not the same thing that they say. They'll say that they want to fight, knowing that me and them both already got a fight lined up, and then mine comes out, and then it makes it seem like they want to make it seem like I'm ducking. So if they want to act funny, then I'm gonna step right to Charlo.
So Caleb Plant is now saying that he want all the smoke with David Benavidez and Jermall Charlo. Now we know that Caleb Plant, he has to get past Anthony Dirrell. He'll be facing Anthony Dirrell October the 9th on the undercard of Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius. Now we know that him and Anthony Dirrell got bad blood. Anthony Dirrell then made it personal. He said he hates Caleb Plant and he want to do some bad things to Caleb Plant. So we know that Caleb Plant got to get past Anthony Dirrell first. I like both fighters. I rock with Caleb Plant. I rock with Anthony Dirrell. But I'm picking Caleb Plant. He's the younger fighter. Right now, he's the better boxer. And Anthony Dirrell, you know, he at the end part of his career. So I'm looking for Caleb Plant to go in there and do his thing against Anthony Dirrell. Even though I like Anthony Dirrell and I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for Caleb Plant, but he just might make it look easy because Anthony Dirrell really ain't looked impressive to me in his last few outings. That's the next fight for Caleb Plant. But the fight that everybody want to see is Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez. And if we can't get that fight, we want to see Caleb Plant versus Jermall Charlo. Now, Caleb Plant is coming off a loss to Canelo Alvarez where he got stopped in the 11th round. A lot of people think that he did very well in that fight up until the time of the stoppage. I thought that Caleb Plant, he did all right, but I thought he could have did a lot better in that fight. I don't think that Caleb Plant was prepared to go into a fight of that magnitude with the opponents that he had on his resume. They didn't put him in there with nobody to prepare him to go up against a Canelo Alvarez in a fight of that magnitude. You got the whole crowd screaming, cussing at you. You got everybody going for Canelo. You know, it was just the atmosphere that I don't think that Caleb Plant was ready for. And he had never been in a ring with somebody with the skill level and the punching power of Canelo Alvarez. So I think that when he felt that punching power that Canelo Alvarez, you know, was bringing to the table, and he never had felt that before, I really think that it took a lot from Caleb Plant's game. He didn't really want to engage like that. He was doing more pity pat shit, trying to get out the way. He didn't want to stay in the pocket with Canelo. So I think that's what ultimately lost him the fight. You got to be able to step to Canelo. You got to put Canelo on his back foot, and Caleb Plant wasn't able to do that in the fight. And I think that Caleb Plant could have been able to do that, but he wasn't willing to take the chances to do that. Now, with that being said, I think that Caleb Plant has gained a lot of experience from this fight. Like I said, you need to be in fights like this to get the experience. And they had never put Caleb Plant in fights like that. Yeah, he had been put in with Jose Uzcategui, but that was so long ago, you know. You put him in with bomb after bomb after bomb. That's not prepare him to be in the ring with a Canelo Alvarez in a big pay-per-view event of that magnitude. But like I said, I think that he's gained a whole lot of experience, and I think that he's going to take that experience from what he gained from that Canelo Alvarez fight, and I think that he's going to display it, and the first person that he's going to display it on is Anthony Dirrell. Now, the fight that we all want to see is David Benavidez and Caleb Plant, or Jermall Charlo and Caleb Plant. But first, David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. And Caleb Plant is now saying that he wants all the smoke with David Benavidez. And if David Benavidez is acting funny, he wants Jermall Charlo. Now, let me let y'all hear exactly what he had to say. And shout out to Brian Custer for doing another great interview. But I'm going to let y'all hear exactly what he had to say. And then I'm going to get back and I'm going to cook on this.
Right after Dirrell, my plan is a step to make the biggest fight that I possibly can in the super middleweight division. And if that's with David Benavidez, then that's the fight that I want to make. And if for some reason he's acting silly, acting funny, because they say a lot of things, but then behind closed doors, it's not the same thing that they say. They'll say that they want to fight, knowing that me and them both already got a fight lined up. And then mine comes out, and then it makes it seem like they want to make it seem like I'm ducking. So if they want to act funny, then I'm going to step right to Charlo, and we'll make that fight happen. So I'm not playing with none of these boys. I'm not playing with none of them. I'm going to whoop Dirrell, and then I'm going to step right to David or right to Charlo, and we can make either one happen.
Now y'all heard what he just said. He said he going after David Benavidez, and if David Benavidez and his team is acting funny, then he's stepping right to Jermall Charlo. Now let's talk about it. We know that David Benavidez and Caleb Plant got real bad blood. They didn't have bad blood for years. They got into it in the gym, right? And they got into a little scuffle. Caleb Plant say that he slapped Jose Benavidez, David Benavidez's brother, and he said that David Benavidez stood there and didn't do a goddamn thing, right? So they got a whole lot of beef. Now, I rock with David Benavidez and I rock with Caleb Plant. So I don't got no dog in the race. I just want to see a hell of a fight. David Benavidez is a monster. Caleb Plant is a superb boxer. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people feel that Caleb Plant is going to give David Benavidez problems because of his footwork and his boxing skills and his jab and, you know, his movement and all of that, right? But other people feel that David Benavidez's work rate is going to be too much for Caleb Plant. People feel that Caleb Plant, he fades in the later parts of fights. People question Caleb Plant's chin. Can he take David Benavidez's shot once David Benavidez start pouring it on him? So it depends who you ask. You're going to get a different opinion. Like I said, I don't have no dog in the race. I just want to see a hell of a fight because I rock with both of these fighters. But this is another fight that's been drawn out for years and years, just like Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. People been wanting to see this fight. You dig what I'm saying? They been had bad blood for a long, long time. You got Caleb Plant's version of the story, why the fight has never happened, and you got Benavidez and his people's version of the story, why the fight has never happened. Now, if you ask Caleb Plant, he feel that David Benavidez and his team, they been bluffing. They only call for the fight when they know that Caleb Plant already got a fight lined up. This is what Caleb Plant had to say about the situation.
We tried to make a deal with Caleb Plant, and obviously he doesn't want to fight us.
Yeah, I mean, they had already had a fight lined up with David Lemieux, which was for the interim belt. So, you know, that fight with me couldn't have been for the interim belt. And he's been crying to fight Canelo. So why would he risk the interim belt to fight Canelo and fight me when all those fights were already, you know, signed contracts? So, you know, he's just saying stuff for the media. And, you know, both of them, they lie a lot.
So yeah, y'all hear Caleb Plant's side of the story. He's saying that they only calling for the fight because they know that they already had a fight lined up with David Lemieux with their signature on that contract, and that they also knew that he had a fight already lined up with Anthony Dirrell. Caleb Plant, that is. So he said they only calling for the fight when they know that the fight can't be made. Other than that, you don't hear nothing from him. Now, if you ask David Benavidez and his team, they say, look, we've been trying to get Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant, right behind the scene, he make a million excuses. We could have fought for the WBC interim title. Me and Caleb Plant could have fought for that championship, right? We could have fought for that. I didn't have to fight David Lemieux. He's saying that Caleb Plant could have got in that slot. He didn't have to fight David Lemieux. Whoever y'all believe, at the end of the day, they need to make this shit happen. Right? But one thing that makes David Benavidez and his team look bad is because if you listen to their manager, Sampson admitted in the past when Caleb Plant's team was trying to get the fight done, David Benavidez's own manager admitted that he said no to the fight. He said that he didn't want David Benavidez that young in a fight of that magnitude because he didn't feel that the fight was ready yet. He thought that the fight could be much bigger down the line, so he said no. And he wanted the fight to grow. That's what David Benavidez's manager said. Now, that don't really have nothing to do with David Benavidez because as a fighter, he always wanted to fight. But his own manager stopped the fight from happening, and he said this out of his own mouth. This ain't nothing that I'm making up. So if Caleb Plant get past Anthony Dirrell, they need to get together and make this happen. Ain't no more excuses, all the back and forth talking. I don't even want to hear that no more. Just make this fight happen. Now let's hear what Caleb Plant had to say about a Jermall Charlo fight.
Yes, that's the fight that I want. That's the fight that the fans want. That's the fight that boxing needs. And so I'm going to step right to that. And again, if we can't get it done because, you know, they're acting funny and silly and, you know, want to, go back on this and that, like they have in the past, then, we'll step right to Charlo and see about getting that fight made.
If he can't make David Benavidez, he's stepping right to Jermall Charlo to get that fight made. I don't know about Jermall Charlo fight. Jermall Charlo did an interview a while back, and he said that he'll knock out Caleb Plant in like less than 3 rounds, and he was talking all type of shit about Caleb Plant. But Jermall Charlo don't look like he want to fight nobody. I don't know when we gonna see Jermall Charlo back in the ring. Jermall Charlo got shit going on outside of the ring. Jermall Charlo is not being disciplined. Jermall Charlo is heavy in weight. I don't know what's going on with Jermall Charlo. So, you know what I'm saying? Good luck with trying to get Jermall Charlo in the ring with you. Jermall Charlo looks to be complacent just where he is. He don't want to move up to 168. He don't really want to fight nobody unless it's Canelo. So, Jermall Charlo look like he's complacent. I know that David Benavidez want that smoke with Caleb Plant, Jermall Charlo, or whoever, because he's showing that he really wants to smoke. I don't see him getting a fight with Jermall Charlo. I really don't. Jermall Charlo don't want to move up. Jermall Charlo want to hold on to that WBC strap at 160 pounds as long as they let him hold on to it without having to fight nobody. You dig what I'm saying? But, it is what it is. I hope that Jermall Charlo do get his shit together, and I hope that Jermall Charlo do get a big fight. You know what I'm saying? Because Jermall Charlo ain't trash. Jermall Charlo can fight his ass off. He just needs to get his shit together. So like I said, good luck with trying to make a Jermall Charlo fight if Caleb Plant and David Benavidez don't happen. And that's for Caleb Plant or David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? Both of them. Good luck to trying to get Jermall Charlo in the ring with you. We already seen David Benavidez tried to get Jermall Charlo in the ring with him, and he couldn't make it happen. So yeah, like I said, just like Caleb Plant said, the fans want to see David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. Let's make it happen. In 2023, we need to see that fight. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Who do y'all want to see Caleb Plant in the ring against? Jermall Charlo or David Benavidez? Let me know in the comments, and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. There you go, talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.